What's up, everybody? Let me know if you can hear me. Y'all hear me? Just put a comment. Let me know. Let me know if the screen looks good, and we'll get going. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Show. Sweet. Cool. Thanks, Melanie. Yeah, so we can just get to it, right? Posted SPX game plan a little bit ago. So the TLDR, right, is like full complex SPX-A, SPX-P looks fine. You know, call dominant environment, button low spot price, all that good stuff. Not really seeing a decline in call speculation. Maintaining the transition zones, right? All the supplemental tools we're looking at looks fine. You know, kind of from a swing. One thing to note, right? SPX-P, the GEX ratio obviously took a pretty big haircut from, you know, those 3 gap updates we had last week. But, you know, that's not crazy because there's that like massive elevated levels at 3.5, which means, you know, there's 3.5x more call gamma than put gamma. That's not sustainable in the SPX-P complex. Back down to more normalized levels at 1, more or less. So, you know, this isn't really like actual per se. It's more of it's having like a, you know, market awareness of where things are at. So, you know, it looks fine. Just bullish point of view. You want to see this line start to ramp higher again. You know, everything else looks fine though. Thing to note, right? Market trend model. This is kind of counter to, you know, what the SPX options market complex looks like. Obviously, short term, medium term time frames all look pretty bad. Last week we had filter tick selling. You know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Looking at the filter tick right now, filter tick selling. You know, continuation lower. So not a great thing to see. You know, the RSP looks like it took a pretty big haircut to open. So yeah, you know, positioning looks fine, but kind of momentum under the hood is not great. So, you know, all that to say, mixed signals right now, which in of itself is a signal. So what did I write? Yeah, they look fine, but yeah, so right, both can be true at the same time, meaning the market trend model looking bad, the SPX-A, SPX-P looking good. So right, the way I'm thinking about that is staying cautious, but, you know, having a buy list ready in case we do see that trigger day higher. Trigger day higher, right, simply just means cumulative tick starts to progress higher, railroad track starts to progress higher. That's kind of the trigger day. Shape is what we look for, and then, you know, we want to see continuation from there, but we are not there right now. So, right, don't get it twisted. Kind of what I said right here is irrelevant until the market starts to turn around. So, you know, our 2 mechanical long strategies, those are turned off in terms of not looking for any buy signals right now. Right, then looking at SPX 0 DC, structure is pretty easy to read today, right? The key goalpost 68.80 to the upside, 68.25 to the downside. So in between there, more or less a chop range, which I understand that's a wide chop range, but that's what the structure is today. You can see the expected move is quite wide, but, you know, our kind of upside downside pillars are inside that expected move. So it's not really that crazy when you kind of put it into that context. Below 68.25 would be looking to 6,800 as the first kind of downside target. That's negative GEX to start the session. Then above 68.80, we would be first looking to 6,900, which is plus GEX on the session. Then above plus GEX, really a function of, you know, the buying coming into the market that we can look at via vol-M, which is our intraday volume analysis, looking at our market trend model to see if we get some filter ticks higher. And really, you know, up to 69.50 is really the top for the day. I just simply give you that level because looking at this in a vacuum, that's where we could go based off the structure. But again, we really need to see that buying coming in to kind of support that. And then, right, same thing to the downside, below 68.20, 6,800 really going to be a function of how aggressive and the magnitude of selling coming in. So, right, really simple like levels for the day, right? In between 80-25 chop zone. It's the kind of knife fight I put there, and then above 6,900, see how far, or below 6,800, see how far. And then, the net stack command kind of confirms all that, right? This is just a 3D surface model, or summary of our 3D surface models rather. So the key thing I look at here, what are the key sensitivity points in the market? 6,800 to the downside, which we know is negative GEX, 6,900 to the upside, which we know is plus GEX. So, right, those pillars are kind of in confluence with what we looked at earlier. So above 6,900, right, that's where all the Greeks shift to be more supportive in the favor of the bulls. And then below 6,800, really where we could see an acceleration lower. But all else equal right now, charm is negative in the overhead. So that means negative delta, negative flows are coming down on us right now, but flip above 6,900. Right, same thing with Vanna. It starts to become more influential at the upside if we get above 6,900. You guys have any questions on that so far? So let's go into what that looks on the chart, right? So the range high, right, that's plus GEX 6880. Really, went there almost to the penny at the open. So pretty cool. Right now, we're getting towards the pre-market low at 68.45. Keep in mind that's in the middle of the drunken sailor range, but right, pre-market lows and highs are kind of important level that people follow. So below the pre-market low, I'd be biased down towards the range low of 68.20. So we'll see if we get there. Then we have the prior day low right at 68.15. So pretty cut and dry right now. So pre-market low, really gonna be interested to see what happens there. And then again, just keep in mind, right, filter tick selling so far today. So bias right now, like I don't see how it's not lower from here, especially if we break the pre-market lows. So just want to be cognizant of that. I don't know. Let me know if you guys have any questions. In terms of single stocks, right? Last night on our YouTube, we covered a bunch of that stuff. So yeah, not a ton of thoughts there, especially not super interested in that right now, just given what the market action is doing, what the filter ticks looks like. It's not like I'm, going to be entering a swing position right now anyway. So not even going to waste my time going through that stuff. I do need to update my trading script though. Come on. Is there any single stocks that you guys do want to look at? Let me know. You can go through it. Yeah, Tesla. Tesla looks great. That's good to see. So, yeah, it's ripping higher. Like we were talking last week, right? We held those key levels to the downside. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Yeah, Tesla was one of the only stocks, that we reviewed yesterday that looked fine, right? 500 kind of natural upside target, kind of right in the middle of the range right now. So risk to rewards, not that great, just in terms of like the transition zone up to the profit target. But, if you're long this name, everything looks fine here, despite kind of what the market backdrop is. This one looks good. Yeah, 500 could make sense this week if I mean, I don't know how long Tesla's gonna be able to buck the overall market trend, but maybe it's, just it does. So I'm not sure, but we'll see. I think we got news at 9 too. Just keep that in mind. Some news event. You got ISM at 10 o'clock. So we'll see if that does anything. Sitting right at pre-market lows. That's kind of dumb. Huh. You can see right now, basically, mega cap growth is doing fine. And the rest of the market is getting knocked around pretty good right now. These are equal weight sectors. You basically have one sector that's green right now. Just looking at RSP. Yeah, RSP, I mean, RSP looks way different than SPX. Just keep that in mind. Pretty shocking. Well, not shocking, but shows you the power of the massive stocks. Yeah, breaking pre-market lows here. See, 35. Kind of fighting around pre-market lows right now. Looking at our vol M command real quick. I mean, it's clear the trend is lower, at least through 10 o'clock, right? These are the centroids. So, our measure of behavior of SPX speculation, calls on top, puts below, 5-minute buckets, right? We aggregate volume, find the middle point of that distribution, which is the centroid. We plot that. So, right, since the open, been trending lower both on the call and the put side. So, just something to be cognizant of there. Kind of everything right now is kind of in confluence. Market trend model moving lower. Filter tick has subsided a little bit here. But, breaking pre-market lows right now. The trend is definitely lower. So, All right, cool. I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna get back in the Discord. So try and maybe do another live stream here this afternoon, see how things work out. Right now we're just flirting around pre-market lows, right in the middle of our range low, range high. So, choppy price action, kind of obviously what's expected between these levels. So I know it's easy to say, right, because the range is so wide today, but it is what it is. And it's not crazy given what the expected move was implied at the open as well. So, yeah, so with that, we'll talk to you later. Thank you.